think my husband's sex doll is trying to replace me in more ways than one. I came home from a 12-hour shift and found my husband fucking a doll. What the fuck, Mark? I screamed as I opened the door. I wanted to crash on my bed after a long day at work. Instead, my husband was on it, moving as he rode another woman. What the fuck, Mark? I repeated and hit the lights. Years of marriage felt like they went down a drain. In the bright room, I saw it wasn't a woman. A sex doll lay under him. Black hair, hollow black eyes. A smile that didn't belong on any face. It stared right at me. Its legs wrapped around his waist. He looked at me with fear and shame as he took the doll's legs with his hands and peeled them off like a lap bar at the end of a ride. That's right, asshole. Ride's over. It almost came out. I bit my tongue. He yanked his pants on. What is that? You're fucking a doll? This wasn't a toy. This was a full-size body he dragged into our bed. Look, Danielle, I know you're pissed. You know you're pissed, he said, chest puffed with fake confidence. We haven't had time together. It's not cheating. It's a toy. It would never replace you. We went at it. My new night job paid the bills and bled us dry. We circled the same points and wore grooves in the floor. I told him he could do what he wanted on his own time, but this was unattractive and weird. He hung his head and said he would get rid of it. I didn't trust him. He folded the doll in half, its back bent like paper, a zipper rasped, something heavy dragged. He took it to the bathroom closet. Doors shut. Mark came back, and we laid on the bed and did not touch. I wish that was the end. I wish I never saw that doll again. Time crawled. We barely spoke as he dressed for work the next morning while I sat with coffee, eyes red, steam on my face, the news on, but not listening to it. He said goodbye with no kiss, no hug. The lock clicked and silence swallowed the room. Curiosity chewed at my brain. I had always respected his privacy. I didn't ask what he ordered. I didn't open packages. I should have tossed that big box that came 2 weeks ago. Unmarked. No label. No address. Mark claimed it was his. I shrugged. Trust him, I told myself. Trust. Yeah, fuck trust. Trust is shredded. You can't piece that together. I turned on his computer, the same 4-digit code he used for everything. I wanted to know where the hell he got the doll. Email, nothing. Search history, nothing. Alt emails, bank account, nothing. Maybe he bought it in person. Maybe he used his phone. My stomach burned while I played investigator. I swore I wouldn't cross this line. I kept going. I pictured him walking in on me. Sorry. Honey, forgot my wall. What the hell? My heart thumped. A bang came from the bathroom closet. Deep, muffled, and heavy. I shot up and listened, like a rabbit after a branch snap. Silence. I went to the bathroom, then headed toward the closet. My hand wrapped around the closet knob. I turned and pushed. We still fear the dark, primitive fear of the unknown. The mind makes shapes. A pile of clothes becomes a head. A sleeve becomes an eye. I saw the outline of a head sticking out of a black square on the floor. I jumped back and gasped, then laughed nervously once. Clothes. A mess. Get a grip. I hit the closet light. That fucking sex doll lay there with its head sticking out of its case. It grinned widely. Its eyes were black and soulless. Goosebumps climbed my arms. Nausea rolled through me. He didn't throw it away. Asshole. I wasn't going to touch that thing. I grabbed a broom and shoved. It slid on the carpet, heavy and rough. I swept it into the corner under the clothes, out of sight. I turned off the light and shut the door. Then I sat on the edge of the tub and waited for Mark to come home. Why not just throw it out and be done with it? Said a voice in my head. I had considered that. I couldn't care less about his reaction, but I wanted him to do it. I wanted him to be sorry, not sorry he got caught. Are you overreacting? My mind started to race, clawing at ways to fix our marriage, any crumbling piece I could grab. Toys would have been fine, but this wasn't a toy. It had a face. Those matte black eyes burned into my brain. I told myself I wasn't overreacting. He should have talked to me first. Controlling? That word crept in and I threw it out. Why not just leave? No, not that. I can fix this. I can make this work. Focus on talking, not screaming. The talking didn't work. He came home and saw I was upset. I told him he hadn't thrown it out. He fired back that he'd been busy. Lame excuse. That lit us up. We argued and bickered. Frustration didn't vent. It fed the fire. In the heat of it, I asked, "Where the hell did you even get that thing?" His face went cold, red to white. He sobered in front of me. I, he said, off balance. I raised my eyebrows and waited. I didn't get it anywhere. he said. What do you mean? I said. I didn't accept that. I mean, it showed up one day. I thought maybe it was yours. No markings, no address. He groped for the memory like it was a foggy dream. So you just opened it? An unmarked box shows up and you open it because you're curious? I said. Even if I believed him, opening a box you didn't order was dumb. I don't know how to explain it, he said. It was more than curiosity. I wanted to know what was inside. I told myself just a peek. What was the harm? So I opened it. So you kept it. It wasn't yours, and you kept it, then you fucked it? I asked. We walked that tightrope back and forth. Part of me wanted to understand. Part of me felt Mark didn't understand himself. He said he had been thinking of getting something similar for a while. We had no time together. In that state, I told myself at least he hadn't cheated. I still felt angry that he hid it and lied about throwing it away. By morning, we landed on shaky middle ground. He could keep the body toy, but it had to stay secure and locked in the bathroom closet. I didn't want to see it. We would both work at being intimate again. If that thing started to replace me, we would open a new door and deal with it. Baby steps, I told myself. Hard steps. A relationship costs. You decide what you will give up and how far you will bend. I loved Mark, and I wanted this to work. The next morning, I woke up next to an empty bed. We both had the day off, but after last night, I expected a quiet, ashamed kind of day. Then classical music drifted from the kitchen, and pumpkin waffles hissed on the griddle. Mark could cook. It took me back to the first night I stayed over in his college dorm. I got dressed and went to the bathroom. As I washed my hands, I saw a long black hair on the counter, hiding in plain sight. Not mine. I have brown hair. Mark's is black, but not this long. My eyes went to the closet that connects to our bathroom. I stepped out to ask him, but the thought slid away. He saw me and tried to keep a smile, holding on like it hung from a cliff. He passed me a plate of pumpkin waffles, eggs, and hash browns. We ate and talked about normal things. The hair and the idea of the doll boxed behind the closet door slipped out of my head. The smell didn't. A warm, sour, plasticky smell clung to the hall. Days later, it hit me hardest while I cleaned the tub. A greasy gray paste filmed the porcelain. Water beaded on it like the surface hated it. I told myself it was dirt from Mark's work. I pulled on a mask and kept scrubbing. The sweet, oily note leaked from the closet seam. I froze. Something stood there. An eye pressed to the crack, straining to see me. My mind raced with visions of horror. Childhood fear tried to climb up my back. I shook it off and wiped the tub in tight circles. When Mark got home, he looked surprised. I had spent the day cleaning and cooking him a fresh meal. Apron on, smile fixed. We shared a grin and ate. After we cleaned up, we sank into the couch with drinks and watched mindless TV. I missed this. I missed us. It wasn't about the doll. Our marriage had stretched thin over the hours. Moments like these, you hold tight. Mark got up to use the bathroom, then came back. The door clicked. I flinched. Shit, sorry, he said, voice low. He opened the fridge. Want anything while I'm up? Another beer, I said. He handed it to me and we kept watching. I dozed on his shoulder. Sip here, big gulp there. The TV fell to black between commercials, then snapped back. The weak lamp put a yellow pool in the room. Each time the picture returned, it flashed my eyes. I drifted towards sleep. A commercial cut to black again. For a split second that felt like forever, the screen showed the open door behind us. A body stood there, almost doorframe tall. The face blurred, but I felt a frown on it, a look like disgust, maybe jealousy. It stared straight at me. Its pale silicone skin glimmered, eyes flaring. Goosebumps climbed my skin. I shivered. The TV came back and filled the room with light. I twisted around. The bedroom door hung ajar. Empty. Mark watched me. Babe, you okay? Yeah. Thought I heard something, I said and let it pass. That night, we made love for the first time in a long time. I'll spare the details. It was good. Mark passed out, and I lay awake watching his chest rise and fall. Maybe we were healing. I slipped out to the bathroom. As I washed my hands, I saw the closet light was on. Strange, but fine, I told myself. The light switch sits inside. I reached for the door and stopped. No line of light leaked from the side. Only a bar of it glowed under the door, like something stood flush against the jamb. I ran back and shook Mark awake. Words tumbled out. He didn't argue.